Welcome and hello everyone. My name is Gordon Feener and I am the chief editor of mass2ablog.com. This is the second informational segment of a three-segment video series. In the first segment, I provided a brief summary of some of the issues that were raised in a two-day training session. The training session included instructions as to when to use your concealed carry firearm. In the afternoon of the second day, the students were taken to a training area where they were faced with a couple of scenarios. This informational segment will deal with the first of those two scenarios. In the first scenario, the student is instructed to walk down an alleyway, obtain money from an ATM machine which is located on the wall at the end of the alleyway, and then they are to walk back to the instructor where the journey began. The alleyway is approximately 30 feet long and approximately 8 feet wide, with walls that are about 10 to 12 feet high. The walls have door openings on each side approximately every 10 feet. At the top of the wall, there is a viewing area where other students can observe how other classmates perform and react. The student is fitted with protective gear and a face mask. The student is then armed with an airsoft pistol. The student is then instructed that the student, in walking down the alleyway, may encounter staff instructors playing the role of assailants, who also may be armed with airsoft pistols. In this scenario, the student is advised that he or she will need to make a decision as to how to react if they are faced by an assailant. The student is not told whether the assailants will be armed or unarmed. In this scenario, each of the students walk down the alleyway, and upon withdrawing money from the ATM, they are confronted by the staff assailant. In each case, the assailant instructed the student to give up his or her wallet and the money which was received from the ATM machine. For the purpose of this video, I'm purposely not disclosing the distance between the student and the armed assailant. In each of the scenarios, the student needs to make the decision as to whether to draw their concealed carry firearm when faced by the assailant, who is pointing a loaded airsoft pistol at the student. In a couple of the exercises, the student made the decision to draw their concealed weapon, at which point they were shot multiple times with the airsoft pistol held by the staff member. In other cases, the student complied with the assailant, giving up the wallet and the money from the ATM machine, and they were allowed to return and walk back to the spot where the journey began. This question which each of the students had to face is to whether to draw a concealed carried firearm when faced by an armed assailant pointing a firearm at the student. The fact of the matter is, no matter how quick you can draw a concealed carry firearm, you cannot outdraw an assailant pointing a firearm at you. The issue for you, the viewer, to consider is whether you would attempt to draw against an assailant pointing a firearm at you, or would you just give up your wallet and its contents? The salient point to be driven home is, no matter what is in your wallet, it is not worth your life. Another scenario for your consideration is, what if the assailant was not armed with a firearm but was armed with a knife? How would you react? Would you draw your firearm in order to confront the knife-wielding assailant? What factors would you take into consideration in evaluating the situation before reacting? Bearing in mind that your decision is to be made in tenths of seconds. I suggest that the time for you to consider what you would do in a scenario such as this is while you're sitting comfortably in the safety and comfort of your home or office. The fact that you may have a Second Amendment right to carry a concealed weapon does not outweigh your responsibility to use good sense. You must be careful that your reaction in certain situations do not violate your Second Amendment rights, or you do not make a decision which could ultimately cost you your life. I suggest that one of the best protections of your Second Amendment rights is to be an educated, knowledgeable, and responsible gun owner. This segment and other segments posted on this website are offered for educational, informational, and discussion purposes only, and not as legal advice. Should you wish to have a subject addressed in these videos, please do not hesitate to email me at editor2a@gmail.com. Thank you for watching the segment. Have a good day. And again, I invite you to watch both segments 1 and 3.